I want to ask you something. Can we watch a Marvel film standalone, just as a film? Because this film is not just a part of a Thor franchise, but other Marvel films from which the arc of the cat is continuing. So is it possible to watch this film in a vacuum, or it has to be considered in a group with other films? I wonder what the answer is. By the way, there are 2 post-credits in the film. Hello guys, I'm Nona Prince and let's talk about Marvel Studios' Thor Love and Thunder, directed by Taika Waititi. His film Jojo Rabbit is one of my favorites. Now his style is all over the film, just like Ragnarok. The absurd humor, which mostly works with me, and sometimes I don't really understand the dialogue or the phrase and it goes over my head. But most times it's very clever and cheeky. The visual style, the vibrant colors he used, and how with that he has made the Thor films distinct. They stand on their own among the other MCU films. Now if you notice in this film as well as in Ragnarok, the framing, the composition is very flat, which actually adds to the humor, which is coming from the awkwardness and the silences in between. The action is solid throughout the film, but there's one scene in the climax. Oh my god, it's awesome. It's one of the coolest thing I've seen. Now coming to Chris Hemsworth, the star of the film and the franchise, who plays Thor, Odin's son. I like how he portrays this god as a human being with so much charm. I love what Taika has done with this character. Today Thor is most people's favorite, but back in the days he was not that popular. And Chris Hemsworth really made the character stand out. He is Thor. We cannot really imagine anyone else playing that character. Now there are 3 narratives going on, which is very clear from the trailer itself. One is with Thor finding his purpose in life. The other is Jane Foster as Mighty Thor, and then we have Gore the God Butcher. And all 3 stories are part of the comics. But here they all are merged together. And the film has interesting ideas, but it feels very rushed. The film is only 2 hours long including credits. And they could have easily added 30 more minutes to flesh everything out. And because of this, the ending feels very underwhelming and undercooked. And also there is a lot of CGI battle which could have been avoided. It could have just been one-on-one, but no, we have to add those visual effects which actually take away from the scene. Just like Ragnarok, the tone of the film is all over the place, and that's the style of Taika Waititi. But for me this time it was on and off. There were some moments where I wanted the film to stay serious, but suddenly there'll be a joke and all the tension is lost. The film does get serious at a lot of places, but I wanted more. Coming to the other characters, Valkyrie played by Tessa Thompson, she was just there, just a shadow of her character, that's it. And I think a lot of her character was cut down to make the runtime short. Taika Waititi as Korg is always funny. He's kind of a narrator also in this film. Natalie Portman making a comeback as Jane Foster, aka Mighty Thor. Lovely. I just loved every scene she was in. Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher had so much potential, but the film wasted it. It is also rushed. There's no iconic moment with him. And what I know about the character from the comics, he deserves his own film, but this film just rushed it like this. We could have his standalone film before he makes an appearance in this film. That's how big a character he is and the story he has in the comics. So I'm sure the fans will be disappointed. The film is dealing with a lot of themes, loneliness, finding love in your life, living in the moment, talking about who's a god, what are they supposed to do. But all of these things are just there. They are not explored. And that's a bummer. Coming to the 2 post-credit scenes, both were related to Thor. Nothing huge. Maybe people who have read comics, they are big deal, but not for me. And the film ends with Thor will return. And I just hope when he returns next time, he comes up with more exciting story. I wonder where this film ranks in the MCU, but do check out where we ranked all 27 MCU films. This was really fun and you'll be surprised by the results. If you like this video, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.